Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Grant Anderson from the Flats Entertainment, and we got a few updates about UFC 303 and also UFC Fight Night for next weekend. First announcement is that Yuri Prochazka is now challenging Alex Pereira in the main event of UFC 303. This comes after Conor McGregor had to pull out of his fight against Michael Chandler in this card. But I think this was the perfect main event to book on here because, I feel like you needed something that was gonna grab everybody's attention, and I feel like Yuri Prochazka and Alex Pereira, the last time they fought, it was a big time feel in the arena, and I feel like this time it'll be similar, but I feel like both men are out to prove something. Alex Pereira, I know he's been champ, he double champ now. You know what I'm saying? He has done his thing, but he's still proving why he is at the top of the sport. And Yuri Prochazka wants to prove that he can get back to the top of the lightweight division or light heavyweight division. So I think this is a great fight to put in the main event, and it's gonna definitely draw some attention. Next up, we got Brian Ortega now challenging Diego Lopez. This is now the co-main event of the show. They changed this up because Jamal Hill is now out and will not be fighting Carlos Ulberg, but Carlos Ulberg will still be on this card. I'll mention that in a second. But Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega are now the co-main event for this. This is potentially a number one contender fight for Brian Ortega if he can get his. If he gets a win here, he could potentially move up to challenge Ilya because Ilya still is yet to have an opponent determined. Even though a lot of us think it's going to be Max Holloway, Brian Ortega with a really good showing could potentially move himself up the rankings. But also Diego Lopez with a great showing here could potentially move himself in the top 5 rankings. So that's something to watch out for this matchup. But I think it's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be something for the fans to enjoy. And I think this is a great co-main event to make. Last announcement for UFC 303. Anthony Smith will now be stepping in for Jamal Hill versus Carlos Ulberg. Like I said, Jamal Hill is injured. Will not be ready. Not say injured, but he just won't be ready for UFC 303. I believe that's what they said. But Anthony Smith stepping in. It's the 10 and 11 matchup in the light heavyweight division. So this is gonna bring some definite it's gonna bring some potential ranking moving. I mean, it's not like too much because it's a 10 and 11 matchup, but I know Anthony Smith has been trying to move his way up in that division for a while, and also Carlos Ulberg was potentially getting a shot to go and shock the world. So both of these guys are definitely gonna be on point in this fight. I think it's gonna be a big matchup for both of them just to prove like why they could potentially get shots at a number one contender fight or like getting themselves up in the ranking. So I think this is gonna be fun. And the final announcement that we got was for next weekend's UFC Fight Night, we will not be having Robert Whitaker versus Hamzat Chimaev. It's Hamzat Chimaev, as Dana White explained it, is violently ill right now. So we send out our best wishes to him. Hope he gets well soon. But Ikram Aliskerov, excuse me for butchering your name, but this guy is 15-1 in his UFC career, and also he's only got one loss in his career, and that's to Hamzat Chimaev. So I think this is going to be an interesting fight for Robert Whitaker, also for Ikram, because this could really put Ikram on the map if he can beat Robert Whitaker. But Robert Whitaker, we know he's a former middleweight champion, one of the best of all time. Can he prove that he deserves another shot at the world title again? So I think these two are gonna put on a fantastic fight next weekend. I think this is a great main event to step in for that card, and I feel like this is gonna prove a lot to the middleweight division because there's a lot of uncertainty right now. I think other than Sean Strickland getting his fight against DDP, there's a lot of people up in the air to potentially get a fight. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get that next push to get up in the rankings to potentially get a world title fight. But that's all I got for y'all today. Y'all stay tuned for more content over this weekend. Y'all like and subscribe. Y'all let me know what y'all are looking forward to for UFC Fight Night next weekend and also UFC 303. And let me know if y'all think Conor versus Chandler is ever going to happen at this point. But y'all stay tuned for more and appreciate all the support that y'all giving. And stay tuned for next time. Later, y'all.